Hello everybody, my name is Sankara and welcome back to the Shaddoll Showdown Structure Deck series, episode 3-ish. If you haven't already, go check out my other ones where I did the unboxing of the deck and I talked about how to play it a bit. But in this episode, we're going a bit more in-depth into how to actually play Shaddolls properly. So what I've done is I've built a deck myself. This is made using just 3 of these, whoops, wrong way. Just 3 of these decks, basically, and no other cards yet. Which I'll do in a later episode. I'll make a proper Shaddoll deck, but this is made using just 3 of these decks, and I've played it a few times. I played it over and over and changed things and made it better, fixed things up, and here's what I learned. Basically, Shaddolls really like fusion summoning. That was one of the first things I learned. I used to have less fusion cards in the deck, and I swapped out other things for more. I swapped out BLS, I swapped out an Armageddon Knight, I took out Lava Golem, I had him there just for fun, I put in another Super Polymerization. So basically, I just loaded in on a lot of fusion summoning cards. Because that's really all you need with this deck. Really, with Shaddolls, you just wanna fusion summon everything. Just freaking summon them all. Just spam the fusions. So yeah, that's the aim of the Shaddoll deck. You fusion summon. Usually I'll be going into Winder, because she is the easiest to summon for starters, just needs a Shaddoll and a Dark Monster, and she restricts special summoning to 1 turn. Keep in mind, though, that this will also restrict your special summoning to once per turn. I mean, you can summon multiple monsters at one time, but only 1 time per turn can you special summon. So keep that in mind. You want to do her last if you're planning on special summoning a bunch. The other one that I often summon would be Shaddoll Construct. She is the other best card. So these 2 are your best cards, basically. These 2 are your best cards. You want to summon them, and keep in mind, so first of all, Construct will allow you to send another Shaddoll from your deck to the graveyard, so then you can start whipping out a bunch of combos. But also, she destroys special summoning monsters, which I forgot about in my Blue Eyes. I dueled against a Blue Eyes deck. It was very drawn out because I forgot she could do this. I didn't even summon her until I eventually did, and she just started blowing up everything because that's what she does. So don't forget about that because that's awesome. She attacks a special summon monster, it's gone. No damage calculation, just gone. All of the fusion monsters, when they're sent to the graveyard, you can return a Shaddoll spell or trap from your graveyard to your hand, so then you can keep doing more fusion summons. Don't forget about Construct. I added 2 of her into the deck. Again, it doesn't really matter. As long as you have 3 of Winder and 3 of L Shaddoll Construct, then you're set. But I added 2 of her because she also allows you to fusion summon monsters, which is pretty good. Most people don't really use it, but we don't have a whole lot of options with this deck, so we're putting her in. Okay. I have gotten off her effect once or twice, so she's not bad. I often forget about her, but then when I remembered, I got her off quite a couple of times. So yeah, basically, you want to fusion summon a lot. You want to summon Winder, you want to summon Construct. Those are the ones you just fusion summon everything. Optimize the deck for fusion summoning, basically. There will be other ways to play the deck, and I will talk about those in a later episode, different ways to build it, and I'll go a bit more in-depth into this deck as well. But if you're looking at it now, for those of you who know Shaddolls, let me know if there's anything you think I should change, or anything I should make better, anything I could do. I've played with it a few times, and I've got it pretty consistent in winning. I don't know that it would be able to go up against many meta decks very well, unless you get lucky, but you can definitely whip out some OTKs with this. If you get off 3 fusion summons per turn, that's pretty fantastic. And let's not forget that L Shaddoll Fusion is a quick play spell card, so you can use that during the battle phase. That's awesome. You have that in your hand, you summon a bunch of monsters, attack with them all, L Shaddoll Fusion, summon another one, attack with that for game, generally, because you've already got like 2 fusions and 1 normal, and you're set. Another thing, some combos. Let me talk about some combos. So, first of all, Shaddoll effects go off when they're used as fusion material. They'll be sent to the graveyard via a card effect, being the fusion card, and then their effects go off. So keep that in mind, because that's important. That's really important for planning out what you're going to fuse together. It's not just about what you're going to summon, but what you're going to send as well. So, for example, I'll often, I'll go for something like Shaddoll Dragon. When he's sent to the graveyard, you can destroy a spell or trap on the field, which can be pretty good if your opponent's got back row. I mean, that's amazing. Of course, it also depends on what you have access to, but with Shaddoll Fusion, if your opponent has an extra deck monster, which they probably will, then you can use monsters from your deck, which is amazing. This deck is great for go second, even go first if you can get Winder out, then you just restrict special summoning. Honestly, if you can get 2 monsters on the field, 2 Shaddolls, then L Shaddoll Fusion set, Your opponent's special summons? Nah, none of that shit. Get out of here. That's it. You're no more special summons for you, and that'll confuse them. That'll throw them off. So yeah, it's pretty good. El Shadow Fusion on your opponent's turn. I would recommend it more than on your turn. If it's the first turn, that is. If it's the first turn, it all depends on what you're going to do. You can fuse your face-down monsters as well, which I didn't think you would be able to, but apparently you can. You can fusion summon using your face-down monsters, face-up monsters, whatever. Super Polymerization is also quick play, which you can use during the battle phase, you can use on your opponent's turn, and you can steal your opponent's monsters. That's why I threw 3 of them in this deck, because I love stealing opponent's monsters. I just think that's fantastic. Next card I added 3 of was Lost Wind. I didn't originally, but this card turned out to be bloody, well, it's damn good. I didn't expect it to be that damn good. What I didn't realize was that it's not until the end phase that you target a special summon monster, its effects are negated, and its attack is halved permanently. It's permanent. Yeah, that's fantastic. So I put in 3 of them as quick as I added 3 of them. Lost Wind, fantastic card. I love this. This card is amazing. I mean, there are better cards out there, but again, it's just with this deck, so Lost Wind, that's the one you want. I also added, of course, Foolish Burial, Armageddon Knight, both of which are limited, and Mathematician, just for an extra one. You could go more Mathematicians. I did consider it, just so you can get off more Shaddolls into your graveyard, but I think just these 3, I think it's enough. I think it's fine. You also have Shaddoll Squamata, which can send things from your deck to the graveyard. When he's sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can send another Shaddoll to your graveyard. Where is he? This guy, Snaky Boy. Snaky Boy sends things to the graveyard, but he also has his flip effect, which destroys monsters on the field, which I've used quite a bit, actually. I didn't think I'd be as big a fan of this card, but I used his flip effect quite a lot. Because, let's keep in mind again, you have monsters that can special summon things face down. You have Re-Shadow Windy, Re-Shadow Windy, when she's sent to the graveyard by a card effect, or when she's flipped, you can special summon a shadow straight from your deck face down, i.e. Squamata, and then blow up your opponent's monsters. It's fantastic. I also kept Trick Clown, is important to point out, Trick Clown, just so you can summon El Shadow Construct. I didn't really care about the rest of the fusions. They're not as good as Winder and Construct. You can get, I also have Mathematician, so you can get off Shikanaga, which is pretty good. I've used her a couple times. She's pretty good too. Yeah, if your Shadow Construct is light as well to summon El Shadow Construct. But the other ones, yeah, I don't really use them as much. Unless I'm stealing my opponent's monsters with Super Fusion, then I don't even think I summoned them in those situations. App Cologne is a good one. The problem is that her effect only goes off when she's special summoned, which isn't bad, it's just that that's never come up for me, so that's a problem. Another thing about Winder is that she can't be destroyed by card effects, and that's amazing. So if you're about to be destroyed by a card effect, you got El Shadow Fusion set, quick play, Winder, gone. Nah, done. Done. If your opponent's got Mirror Force, Winder, done. I went up against a few Mirror Forces, Winder, handled. Handled. Winder and Dragon, handled it. We handled it. It was good. So yeah, fusion summon what you want in your graveyard, i.e. Dragon, to blow up those cards. There's also Beast lets you draw cards, which is fantastic. Hedgehog adds Shaddolls to your hand, which can also be good for more fusion plays. If you don't have enough materials and you can get Hedgehog in the graveyard, you go for Hedgehog, add another one, go for another fusion. It's fantastic. You just keep fusion summoning. It's a fusion summon as much as you can, mainly with Hedgehog and Windy because they get you more cards. There's also Falco, which special summons himself, which is like getting another card. He can also special summon another Shadow from your graveyard if he's flipped, which is fantastic. Hound is also quite good. He can add Shadow cards from your graveyard to a hand when he's flipped. I only have one, and I've only needed one, and because I generally special summon him face down when I need to, and then he gets my Shadow fusions back. I've never really used him to get a monster back, I don't think. Just fusions, just fusions. El Shadow Fusion, whatever, because that's all that matters. I don't need monsters in my hand, I just need them field, graveyard, whatever. It's fine. Hound gets them back. So do all of your fusion monsters, gets the fusion cards back as well. So you fusion summon a fusion monster, quick play, use that to summon it again after you attack, and then get another fusion back, and you're good to go. Keep in mind that Shadow Fusion and El Shadow Fusion can only be used once per turn, which is a bit upsetting, but hey, what are you gonna do? You can also use Super Polymerization, so that's 3 per turn, 4 including Neffy, and then 5 including Construct, so you're good to go. You can summon as many fusions as you want. I'm sure that will be enough, though. Alright, what else have we got? Oh yes, Hedgehog, not only when he is flipped, this is another important one. When Hedgehog is flipped, you can add a Shadow spell and trap from your deck to hand. I might actually swap something out for another Hedgehog, just to get more fusions, but I think I've got enough fusions now that I don't really need to. But I have used Hedgehog before to get Shadow Fusion, which is generally what you want, because it can go from the deck, which is fantastic. Either works as Shadow Fusion, or it summons, it sends from the deck, which is just, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. Why wouldn't you? And yeah, Shadow Dragon returns things when he's flipped, which is not as good as destroying them generally, but it really depends, because almost always flipped on your opponent's turn, unless you have something that can flip them or they survive. But yeah, they'll be attacked and then they're flipped, and then it's like, well, I'll return them, and then it's like, well, I'll just summon it again. What do you want to do? It's situational. It's situational. We also have Reshadow Incarnation, which I've never really used to special summon things. It's, yeah, well, I suppose that is its point, actually. Never mind. It can come in handy. You can special summon another Shadow. Do it in your opponent's turn, because Winder only lets you summon once per turn, lol. But yeah, special summon one face down, you can get off their flip effects. That's probably the easiest way to get off their flip effects. That, or Windy as well, gets them off. Falco gets off his own one, which is pretty good, and then he gets off other ones. But yeah, that's generally the main ways to get off flip effects. You don't really normal set, unless it's like first turn, you just set a few pass and see what happens. But yeah, that's the gig. So that's the rundown of Shadows. It's a really easy deck to play. You just fusion summon things, read your cards, fusion a lot. That's all that really matters. I don't know what to tell you there. That's what's important. That's all there is to it, really. Fusion summon, read your cards, and it's situational. I didn't really work out any other combos. There are several it all comes down to reading your cards. It depends what you want to do. If you have multiple fusion cards in your hand, then there are plenty of combos to get more monsters on the field. You fuse for, you use Trick Clown, he goes to the graveyard, he comes back, you can use him again. You know, you use Falco, he goes to the graveyard, he comes back, you can use him again. You use Windy, she goes to the graveyard, summon another one, you can use that. So you gotta think about special summoning a lot, and then Dragon to destroy spell and traps. That's basically it. Special summon a lot, just read your cards, see what they do when they go to the graveyard, and then pick and choose based on the situation and how many fusion cards you have in your hand. Otherwise, and don't forget, your quick plays, you can do it in the battle phase. That's important. That's generally when I do it. Get the OTK. Otherwise, that's Shadows. That's all there is to it. Next episode, we're going to look at different ways to construct the deck, including adding Blackluster Soldier, Dark Arm Dragon. We'll look at different variants of the deck using just 3 of these, the Shaddoll Showdown deck. And yeah, but I don't really know if it's going to get better than this one. I think this one worked out pretty well. It's quite consistent now. If you want to build it, test it for yourself, go ahead. Here it is. I won't go through it. Let me know if you want me to, but I'll go through it in the next video anyway, probably, and show you a few variants of the deck. And then after that, we'll look into how Shadow should be built with cards not from the deck. Shadows are definitely, I've heard, much better, and based on practice, they're much better with a different engine running them, as well as having the Shadows. You need different cards too. So, without further ado, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope it was helpful for you in constructing Shadows. If you're a returning player, you've got Shaddoll Showdown. I hope this helped. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it was informative. My name has been Sinkaran. Until next time, subscribe for more, leave a like, comment down below. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Spencer Carr. Until next time, see ya. I already said till next time, didn't I? See ya. There, I did that twice too. I'm just gonna end the episode now. Bye.